allies could be targeted unless Iran makes an active effort to come to the table and hash out a resolution. Meanwhile, Israel continues their strikes on the regime. There's also the economic aspect to the situation as the Strait of Hormuz remains uncertain, to say the least, from the constant threats from the Iranian regime, in which they suggest that boats passing through could be blown out of the water. Hasn't happened yet. Joining me to discuss, retired Navy Intelligence Commander Paul Chabot. Paul, nice to have you back on the program.
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
So, look, I saw a consumer confidence number come in a short while ago, and it's much higher than people expected. Apparently, people believe Donald Trump can run the economy. The Dow is up well over 1,000 points at this hour. NASDAQ up 770. The S&P 171, and oil down to 102. These are all pretty good economic numbers for at least a day. But it's encouraging, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I think America is leading the way from a military perspective. When you look at the success that we have had on the ground, in the air, in the sea, against Iran, which was seen as one of the four pillars of really evil that we were to face. And we have destroyed their Navy, destroyed their Air Force, destroyed most of their leaders, and put them back on their heels. It's really Israel and the United States which have been leading the way. We've seen Iran try to bring in other nations in the Gulf, including Kuwait. They fired on a NATO country yesterday for the fourth time with Turkey. But right now, when you look at the military success that we have had, it has been absolutely tremendous. So hats off to the Department of War and our men and women in uniform.
Yeah, I want to read something that the president posted at Truth Social here earlier today. All of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the United States. We have plenty. Number two, build up some delayed courage. Go to the Strait and just take it. You'll have to start learning how to fight for yourself. The USA won't be there to help you anymore, just like you weren't there for us. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. Go get your own oil, President DJT. Look, I don't mind his sentiment here. They all want to sit on the bench and they want to make comments and they want to hoot and holler. You know, when they demanded, because they didn't ask for us to join the Ukraine war, they demanded it. And we showed up with far too much money and far too much equipment because they have neglected their own militaries. I don't think the UK could defend that island at this point, because their military is so underfunded and understaffed and has not enough equipment. Where am I wrong, Paul?
The United States has led the way and unfairly taken the financial burden on this for nearly a generation now, growing our military strength across the globe, albeit we did settle back and not grow under certain Democrat administrations, and we've had to rebuild. However, there's no doubt that the United States military is the premier force on the globe, and I think we will stay there for the foreseeable future. But here's what's important to remember about Europe, for example. Last week, Iran fired two ballistic missiles at a base in the Indian Ocean, Diego Garcia. And that's important for a few reasons. One, that is a joint base, both of Britain and the United States. But what's critical, and that Europe should be paying attention to if they are not already, is that really, for the most part, we didn't think that Iran had the capability to launch beyond a certain range. Well, they did, and that range now shows that they could reach most of Europe. They could hit Britain. They could even hit Moscow. So Europe, from a NATO perspective, has got to be front and center, not only in negotiations, but helping to continue to decimate the Iranian Navy, make sure they never have nuclear capability, and making sure that we get a government in there that is rational and will work with the free world.
Yeah, you make it clear those missiles launched at Diego Garcia, which is a small island in the middle of the Indian Ocean, but a critical military base for the United States and the UK. Originally, the UK said, well, we're not going to let you use it. They acquiesced to that. But here's the point you make. Those missiles have a range that could hit London, Paris, Berlin. Pick your city in Europe. It's in range now. And these fools sit there bumping their gums, trying to criticize Donald Trump, who's defanging a rogue, dangerous nation, the global leader of terrorist sponsorship. I mean, that's it. Hezbollah, Hamas. the Houthis, and the list goes on. Al-Shabaab in Africa. Iran has sponsored and funded all of those things. And Europe sits on its hands? It really is odd to me, sir.
And also, what our adversaries, we can't forget the fact that China, Russia, North Korea are watching what's happening in the Middle East. The United States has been extremely successful from a strategic military perspective in what we have done in Iran to date, what we did in Venezuela. You look at the power. And so it's important that we rally around the flag in this country to ensure victory, because anything less than that, which is what a lot of our adversaries would want to see, will only embolden our adversaries for a generation to come. Look, I've got 4 kids, 3 teenagers. I'd love for them to join the military, but I don't want them to have to fight wars in the future, where right now we have a responsibility not only to take down evil the best that we can, but set the example and put our adversaries like China, North Korea, and Russia absolutely on notice that America is here, we're here to stay, and American military dominance is not going anywhere.
Yeah, it seems that those European nations were all gung-ho when America was bringing in all that military equipment and all of that cash, billions of dollars to Ukraine. But when we needed help, we were ignored. Donald Trump makes it clear that's not going to fly. Last word to you.
I served in Iraq in 08-09 during the surge, when we didn't think at that time whether or not we would make it. We lost a lot of brave service members throughout Iraq, throughout Afghanistan, throughout many portions of the Middle East, and we've lost many brave ones today. What I want your viewers to take a note here of is that when you watched 10, 15, 20 years ago, our American service members and their Humvees getting blown up, mortars, rockets coming in that were not only killing or maiming our service members, those weapons were coming directly from Iran. Those were Iranian-made bombs that were coming in to kill our service members. I have no sympathy for their military or their leadership, which killed our men and women back then, and we should not forget it today. And if we do, then we're going to have to face that adversary again, and my kids will. It's up to us to clean the table and finish what we started and do it right.
Seems your takeaway is the same as mine. Finish the job. Paul, always good to talk to you. Thank you.
My pleasure. God bless.
All right.